Released body cam and surveillance video shows deputies forcibly removing a mentally ill man from a jail cell.
Jamal Sutherland died shortly after that at a detention center in Charleston County. The video shows deputies pepper spraying and tasing Sutherland. Ryan Young has a look at this new video, but we do want to warn you, it is disturbing.
Hey, come to the door.
Tonight, newly released video shows the events leading up to the death of 31-year-old Jamal Sutherland, a black man awaiting a bond hearing for an alleged misdemeanor assault.
Drop to your knees.
Sutherland, whose family says he was diagnosed with mental health issues at a young age, was in voluntary treatment at a mental health facility in North Charleston, South Carolina. On the night of January 4th, authorities responding to an altercation that broke out at the facility arrested Sutherland after he allegedly assaulted a staff member. His family says they were never notified and are speaking out for the first time since the video was released.
We got no information from anybody. We never knew he was taken from the mental health center.
Sutherland died in custody the next morning at the North Charleston Detention Center after he was removed from his cell to attend the bond hearing.
Bond Judson, get out of here.
The newly released body cam video shows the timeline of what occurred in the moments leading up to Sutherland's death.
Hey, come put your hands through the flat, man.
It shows officers at his cell door for several minutes telling him to put his hands out to be cuffed, warning if he doesn't comply, they'll use force. After several more failed attempts to coax him out, he is hit with more pepper spray. About a minute later, the doors open again. This time, deputies tase Sutherland and tell him to get on his stomach. He can be heard asking, "What's the meaning of this?" Deputies enter the cell telling him to relax and not to resist. Deputies tase Sutherland multiple times to get control of him in the cell. He can be seen and heard screaming on the ground. 2 minutes later, Sutherland is eventually cuffed and slid out of his cell. His family saw the video for the first time just a week ago.
Mental illness does not give anybody the right to put their hands on my child.
Sutherland's father says a mental health professional in the cell with his son would have changed the outcome.
He was already afraid and confused about the situation, and there was nobody in there to talk to him with any compassion, to try to reason with him.
Today, Charleston County Sheriff Kristen Gazzino speaking out.
I will not tolerate any acts of violence against our citizens or our residents at our facility, and I will not any acts of destruction that jeopardize the safety of that community.
The sheriff says the two deputies involved are on desk duty. The county solicitor says she'll decide before the end of June whether to bring any criminal charges. And we should mention this was also addressed during the White House briefing today with the president's press secretary. It was a question asked from a South Carolina reporter who was a guest journalist inside the briefing. We'll have much more on this throughout the weekend on air and inside our free Fox Carolina News app.